from Kyiv. We are just several days from the Jessup Ukraine national rounds. And today I have an honor to talk to one of the Jessup Ukraine alumna and this year ambassador, Anna Tkachova. Hi, Anna. Thank you so much for finding time to talk to us. So, starting our interview from the typical question, could you please introduce yourself, tell about your career path, what is your current occupation, and a little bit about your mooting track?
Hi, Masha. Greetings, everyone. Thank you very much for inviting me. So my name is Anna Tkachova. I'm a counsel at International Arbitration and Cross-Border Practice at Asters. So I've been focusing for 10 years on the disputes mostly, investment arbitration, commercial arbitration, complex cross-border contentious proceedings. With respect to my moot court path, back at uni, it was actually a long time ago. I did several moot courts, WTO. I've done foreign direct investments, moot court, and of course, Jessup. I've been with Jessup actually for 12 years, so more than 10 years now, in various capacities, as a couple of years as a participant, then as a coach, and now I'm in most fun role of all. I'm a judge. I've judged both national and international rounds, including the round during COVID pandemic.
Mm-hmm. So if my calculations are correct, you are in Jessup since 2012, like 12 years. And 12 years is pretty a huge time lapse to see the evolution, some changes. So which changes can you see after all these 12 years comparing Jessup back in 2012 and Jessup now? I'm talking both about the competition globally and about the national rounds.
Well, that's an interesting one. Definitely some things didn't change about Jessup. The first one, the quality of competition and its prestige. The second one, it's a spirit of Jessup and the values it promotes. But I would say Jessup evolved more, especially after surviving the pandemic. It incorporated more of a flexibility and interconnectedness. And I would say Jessup is now more of a community and with a lot of events throughout the year. So previously you've registered and you've participated in the national and international rounds, but now you have regional rounds, now you have more friendly rounds, you have Jessup Summer School. So there are a lot of good developments, and that if you are part of the Jessup community, you have events throughout the whole process, and you can really learn and become better a member of the team and build up your network. Another point to say is that for Jessup Ukraine, I would say media presence, it's like hats off to you guys. The media presence for Jessup Ukraine is really top notch.
Yeah, thank you so much. We just need to talk to our auditorium, to the students, so this is the best way. We need to think about TikTok account, I think. Okay, so it was a long time ago, as you told, but what is the warmest memory that you still keep in your heart from Jessup when you was the participant, when you were started?
There's so many good memories. It's difficult to just pinpoint one warmest memory, but I would say probably the first year when we were exhibition team on the international rounds. It was the first national dress ball event when you see students from around the world wearing their national costumes, and you really connect to them because they've been experiencing the same competition as you, and you see the similarities in you, and you see the spirit of Jessup, and kind of it really broadened your outlook on the world. So I would say that was like the unity of students all around the world. That was probably the warmest one.
Now, actually, during the National Dress Ball, you can even learn about some national cuisine, because sometimes teams appear as the fries or as pizza, so it gets more exciting year to year.
Yeah.
So a question that might be not that easy or pleasant, because I need to reflect a little bit on that. But still, I think it's really useful to share this information with people coming now and joining Jessup as participants. Can you remember any mistake that you perceived as just the end of the world when you were participating in coaching? And how do you treat this mistake now? So, what's about that?
Indeed, that's not the easiest question. It's not probably a mistake that I viewed as the mistake back then, but maybe from the experience of all this going through the different roles in Jessup, when I look back and what I would have done differently, I can tell you about that. So when we were national champions and at international round participating, we didn't make it to the advanced rounds, and I was so upset. I was crying, and I thought that it was an end of the world. From the perspective of today, I would say, girl, get some perspective, because obviously Jessup is about you growing as the legal experts on the one hand. So you do your research, you draft arguments, you present oral arguments, and that's all very good and important. But Jessup is also about people and about you connecting with them, building your own network and finding friends. And really, all the Jessup journey, you as a participant, you have an opportunities, and just don't get kind of, yes, do your best, perform at your best level, because it's a great experience. But do remember the Jessup is not only about the competition, but it's about the people and the community as such.
Thank you for noticing that, because we really want all people who will join the rounds this year to stay with the community, join our community calls, events. So yes, guys, stay in touch, please. I want now to bring you from Jessup, from Washington, D.C., back to Kyiv, and to talk a little bit about the legal market, because it's obvious that so much has changed following the full-scale invasion, and our legal market is not an exception to that, unfortunately. So, which trends do you now observe on the legal market in general? So maybe some new players have appeared, or some shifts in the expertise and so on.
I would say that legal market was in shock at first, as probably as everyone in Ukraine, but it bounced back quite quickly. And I would say that the legal players that were on the market, they're still mainly there. We have some new firms, but also you can see a shift in people and the resources. So who wanted to leave the country, they did so in the first, probably in the first half of the first year of full scale invasion. A lot of people, kind of at least speaking from Asters, initially relocated to Western countries to stay safe. But what I can say now that, speaking for us, a lot of people return back. So obviously we keep this flexible arrangements of working, but still people decided to get back to Ukraine, to their families, and to stay here. It was mainly the decision of people, of our employees, rather than firm imposing something, but it's really interesting trend.
Has something beyond working remotely and then coming back changed personally for you and for Asters in terms of the projects you're working with, the international law firms you're cooperating with, and so on? So maybe you had the layoffs, or what is overall your policy on hiring new people now?
I would say Asters, for me personally, at least became a more of an institution, meaning that it's a pillar of a support, both in terms of community of Asters employees, as a really strong community, as well as the projects that we do and the pro bono projects that we do for the state. I would say it's really important for me personally and for a lot of people who still work in the private sector to be able to add value to the society and to the state, especially in such circumstances. So I would say, yes, we do have a lot of projects for the state, a lot of pro bono projects, and that is an important part of our mission, I would say. We do cooperate with international law firms, but we also did cooperate quite a lot. So probably not so much change there. But what we want to do is to build a Ukrainian market and Ukrainian services that would be on the same level as international one, because Ukrainians now have more opportunities to go and work abroad, speaking about girls mainly, but you want to create for them opportunities here still to do the top level services, but for the benefit of the state being in the state.
That sounds great, and I completely agree with this approach of giving something back in these hard times. Switching from the general tendencies and how the work goes on right now, I want you to ask you about the skills that you use nowadays. So let's pick 3 core skills that you, as the lawyer, as the counsel, use every day in your life. And the next question will be: do you expect the skills change in 3-5 years? Because we see the AI and techno boom. Will it influence legal sphere that much that we need to adjust our skills?
First, 3 top skills, I would say: communication, organizational skills, critical thinking, and analysis. That's probably the top skills. Obviously, use quite a lot of others in the day-to-day work. I would say AI will definitely change the market. It's developing, it's creating an opportunities, but I would perceive it as really as an opportunity rather than a threat, because I would say in the 3-5 years, AI would help you to cut the costs and to automate technical tasks mainly, but you would still need to be able to critically think and to, first of all, operate AI properly and then test the results so that the quality of legal services is not compromised.
That sounds really familiar to me when I was trying to Google to use ChatGPT for finding the case, the US case law, and you'd better not. Yeah, it's about testing element. What are the current opportunities in your law firm for the students? Do you have any dedicated internship programs like some firms on the market do, or do you open positions having in mind that if this person fits for you, he or she will be employed to the junior position?
I would say both. So we pretty much have an ongoing internship program when students or law graduates can apply. We also have sometimes vacancies, including for junior positions, for which you can also apply to participate. But I would say that as a law student or as the a junior member in the early stages of your career, Asters really gives you an opportunity to be a part of an excellent team, to work on the project and to understand why you're doing what you are doing, to be able to volunteer for the tasks that may be scary, but you still get an experience and you are growing. So we do kind of involve all of our interns so they are not just doing technical jobs, but they are also creating an added value and growing through our programs. We also are very flexible in terms of the time schedule and the work arrangements. So we do have students, for instance, from Lviv working part-time remotely, but they still able to incorporate in the team, including to participate in our internal meetings, to participate in our educational meetings and events.
That sounds like a definitely great opportunity to consider. So the last question, as told in the beginning of our interview, in several days we have the 28th national rounds of Jessup Ukraine competition. and we have 16s that will be, of course, really nervous and just trying to do their best and show what they have achieved during all this time they're preparing. What would be one advice from you as the person who has coached and is judging? What will be this advice to the teams?
Can I give 3 pieces of advice?
Yes.
The first one, national rounds. So you've been working really hard, and this work doesn't end with national rounds. So you do really do a huge progress during the national rounds. So do step up your game, do gain experience from experiencing Jessup, and learn from your fellow team members and from the teams from other universities. That will be first. Learn and continue to grow. The second one, please, please, please do remember that Jessup is not only about the competition and gaining the prize. It's also about the opportunity to build your network and to get real close friendships that will last years. And the third one, please do stay with Jessup. Jessup doesn't end with one season, so do stick around, either participate next year, coach the team, assist coaches, join administrative team, or you think about judging, either preliminary rounds like the pre-preliminary rounds, international rounds, or as the proper judge.
Yeah, we also, what we do to help the judges to develop and to learn, we give the opportunity to judge during the summer school mini-moot competition. So this is also an option to follow. Thank you so much, Anna. It was a real pleasure to me to talk to you. And thank you for joining us as the judge this year.
Thank you for having me.